Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Eddie Hearn is out here playing chess, not checkers. He's losing some fighters and some issues going on between Eddie Hearn, his fighters, the fighters' contracts, Sky Sports, The Zone. Eddie Hearn has to get out the red. But let me tell you, Eddie Hearn's playing chess, people. Now, it doesn't mean that his situation has been resolved because there's obviously some turmoil over there at Matchroom. But this man, boy, I just don't know what to say about Eddie Hearn. You got to applaud him. So first of all, he has a fight with between Anthony Joshua, and that's going to be a colossal unified heavyweight world title clash taking place between AJ and Usyk, right? That's been confirmed. It's going to be taking place August 20th in Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And it is just amazing that he's going to have these rivals lock horns at the King Abdullah Sports City Arena. But the thing about it, right, if you're going to have a fight like that in Saudi Arabia, you're going to have a kind of undercard that's going to gain some interest. Okay, it's gonna pique people's interest. It's gonna make people want to tune in. If they can't fly to Saudi Arabia, it's gonna have to make them want to buy a pay-per-view. And I think it's like $24.99 or so over in the UK. Or you just go ahead like most of us, respectful citizens, and get you a Fire Stick. So you gotta pay that crap. But at the end of the day, $24.99, $25, that's nothing, for most people. But they have, man, Hrgovic and Zhang fighting. Now, I've done videos on these two. You can say what you want about the heavyweight division and saying, outside of Usyk, AJ, Fury, and Wilder, there really is no heavyweight out there that anyone wants to watch. Hold your horses, right? You see this fight here? This fight is the equivalent of Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz fighting. It's the equivalent as far as what's at stake for both fighters. These guys, if they win, they're going to definitely be put in a mandatory position. Okay? Now, a lot of people, these two have fought before. These guys, I think Zhang, I don't know if he won a gold medal. He beat Joshua. But I think he may be a two-time gold medalist. I can't remember. And I'm not going to go look it up right now. But Hrgovic, if you watch Hrgovic when he was fighting in the Olympics, he was, man, a very intelligent boxer. Now, when they become pro, sometimes they change their styles. Hrgovic definitely has a faster hands, throws more combinations. He will come and chop you down, okay? Zhang, hands aren't as fast, but he's a super cunning counterpuncher. And if he touches you with that left hand, you're out of there. He has a very clever way of, when you throw your jab, he will step to his right, create that angle, and he may half throw his jab to get you to react, which opens you up, and then boom, straight down the pipe, that left hand. Now, I personally think Zhang will beat Hrgovic, but Zhang has had some serious stamina issues, okay? And he dodged a bullet in one of his fights where he was so tired, he barely made it to the finish line. But but you got to give Hrgovic a chance in this fight too. I just like Zhang, and I like that left hand. And the thing is, Hrgovic is right there to be hit, but so is Zhang. And both of these guys can crack. And look, they fought before. These guys have wins over each other. This is a very interesting matchup, man. And I'm so excited to see what the outcomes are going to be. But Eddie Hearn's been saying he has big announcements coming up. And normally, for those of you who really follow Eddie Hearn, normally he's always out there and really talking about what's going on with the Matchroom and who he may potentially sign in a potential fight. He doesn't normally wait until he has something that's in contract. You know, if there's something that's 2/3 the way done, he'll throw it out there to the media. I think that's come back to bite him. So he doesn't do that anymore. I think he's kind of learned his lesson and maybe not do that as much unless he knows it's something that he has control over and the deal's going to get done. Case in point, just the whole thing with AJ and Fury and everybody getting excited about that fight, and then it all fell apart because Deontay Wilder came, put the Alabama Slammer hammer down, and it got the third fight with Fury. But when you look at what's going on right now, I think Eddie Hearn has a few other major announcements. He's just not putting it out there to the world. He's just waiting. But right now, man, Hrgovic, and it's not my opinion. I think the consensus is that he's an avoided Croatian heavyweight, and he's a star in Croatia. They love him. You know, he's going to be getting in there with Zhang, and it's going to be for the IBF final eliminator. So, you know, whoever wins this could end up going to a purse bid if AJ or whoever wins out of AJ and Usyk, if they decide they don't want to fight him and try to do something different. One thing we know about these sanctioning bodies is if they want to make money, so they need their belts being defended in the ring. You know, they'll jerk these fighters and force it to purse bid if these two guys can't come to an agreement, or Joshua can't make a decision, or Usyk can't make a decision. They'll force it to purse bid, and as opposed to these guys making 2-3 million, 2-3 million, 20 million, 40, 50, 100 million, they end up going to purse bid for 500,000 or something crazy, and they get screwed. So that's how fighters end up dropping their belts, or they're forced to take a fight against somebody who they prefer not to, so they can avoid the whole purse bid crap and all the legal drama that comes with it. But what we're going to see happen here is we're going to see some of the rankings change, because right now Hrgovic sits at number 3 in the IBF rankings, and he's been looking for a dance partner for quite some time. And the thing is this: he was supposed to be trying to fight Usyk, but Usyk and AJ, they've been kind of going back and forth and all the stuff in Ukraine, man. But he was supposed to be fighting Usyk, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on, because when you see a guy like Hrgovic, who's ranked number 3 by the IBF, and he can't get a fight. Of course, he can't get at Usyk. He cannot get a fight. So now you got to go to the number 15 ranked in the IBF, Zhang, to make the fight happen, because no one else wanted to fight Hrgovic. Now that is a sad situation, but we understand what we're dealing with boxing. Boxing right now is definitely a business. It's not like the Hagler days, the Hearn days, the Sugar Ray Leonard days, the Duran days. Where the best wanted to fight the best, and they still got paid handsomely, but they weren't worried about jeopardizing their undefeated record. What you're seeing now is everybody is just very strategic. Every move along the way is guided. They have advisors, mentors, they have consultants. They have all these people who they're paying money to try to ensure that they guide their career as carefully as possible to ensure they remain defeated and make the most money. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of energy, okay? But at the end of the day, I understand it, but tell that to Gabe Rosado, okay? You go and tell Gabe Rosado, you go and tell Derek Chisora that they need an advisor, a consultant, a mentor to make sure that they're strategically planning their career to take the fights to preserve an undefeated record and make the most money. Because Gabe Rosado is about to fight again. Derek Chisora is getting ready to fight again. Look at all the losses on their records, okay? And they're not elite fighters, but they bring entertainment. It's must-see TV when you watch them. They're marketable. They could be Chisora is already a pay-per-view attraction, but Gabe Rosado, at this point in his career, can still evolve into a pay-per-view attraction with his record, with all those losses, because of what he brings to the table. And you wonder why some of these other guys, like Andre, Charlo, they can't go out there and really sell a pay-per-view just off of their name alone. You know what I'm saying? So I just really hate knowing that a lot of fighters would rather go a route to preserve their records as opposed to getting there and fight. Now, Hrgovic and Zhang are both undefeated. And Zhang, man, let me tell you, man, he's a lofty Chinese star. He's loved in his country. He's has a growing fan base here in America as well. And let me tell you, when these two get together, they should name this. They should call this the Big Bang, because that's exactly what you're gonna get. Two KO artists who promise to leave it all in the ring. And Hrgovic was talking about Zhang and said he respects a fighter like Zhang when there are others who could have fought him and didn't. But he said the respect stays outside the ring and it'll be business as usual when they step in there, and he's looking to do his best, which is to knock Zhang out. There's a huge amount at stake in this fight, which we all know that. But he says he feels he belongs at the top of the division, and there's no doubt at all that when he gets in there with Zhang, Zhang is going to get knocked out. And then from Zhang, he's just a stepping stone for him to get to the winner of AJ and Usyk. Now, this is what could happen. Let's say, even for Zhang, whoever wins this fight, now they want to go fight the Usyk or AJ because they're the mandatory for the IBF, okay? Deontay Wilder surfaces. You got Chisora, you got White, you got Andy Ruiz, you got Luis Ortiz. Things start getting shuffled. You can see where these guys end up having to take another fight against another opponent with a big name before they get the fight for the IBF title. Boxing is political, man. And although these guys are getting excited about the fight and they're expecting to win and thinking the next fight after this or the subsequent fight is going to be for a title, I just don't think that. I don't think that's going to happen. Who wants to see Hrgovic fight AJ or Usyk? Who wants to see Zhang fight AJ or Usyk? Okay. Who wants to see Deontay Wilder fight AJ or Usyk? A whole lot of people. Okay. So when you look at it, I think it could get very political, and these guys may not get the opportunity they want. They may get put in a position where now they got to fight Wilder. If Wilder, whoever he's going to fight, he's supposed to be fighting Chisora. It was Hellenius, now it's supposed to be Chisora. Who knows? We won't know until Deontay Wilder comes out and says it. Okay, that's when I think we can get excited. But a lot of rumors floating around, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Wilder ends up in a situation where he has a fight with one of these guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm always going to root for Wilder. It's just the kids thing, man. I said this in other videos. But when he's getting in there with these big guys, man, I worry because these guys are Olympians. They can box. They can set traps. They're just dangerous fighters. But I'm still going to rock with Deontay Wilder because if he fights smart, gets that whip-like jab out and drop that right hand, it's lights out because these guys are going to stand right there to be hit. But they have pretty good chins. But not too much people are standing up to what Deontay Wilder is dishing out, man. It is what it is. But they're both excited about the fight. And Eddie Hearn is just out there working magic. Now, Joshua is supposed to be making like $100 million plus. But with these two guys, this is going to be the biggest paydays yet. It's my understanding Zhang is going to be making $1.5 million, and Hrgovic is going to be making, I think the same. Is what I heard in the video. Both of them are going to be making over $1 million for this fight. So although the DAZN money is dried up, the Saudi money is the Saudis are hemorrhaging money over there. So these two guys get to come down and make the largest fight purses they've ever made in their careers. And get an opportunity, man, to become mandatory for the IBF and do it on a huge stage and in Saudi Arabia, which I think is just an amazing opportunity for them. But after these guys fight, I don't know who's going to, I don't know who or what's going to happen with their careers, but this is just a fight I'm excited about, man. I don't know if you guys have seen Zhang fight. If he hits you with that left hand, you're out of there. You are out of there. But he's kind of slow. He's kind of slow. That'll be my only concern against a guy like Hrgovic, who can get going and get busy early. I tell you what, Hrgovic is Joe Joyce. That's when I watch Hrgovic fight. It's like watching Joe Joyce, man. You know, every round goes by, he starts to pick up the pace, get stronger, and he just nonstop punching, man. You know, he's got a great engine, and that could present a lot of issues for Zhang. Zhang isn't a guy who's going to throw, 50 punches around. You know, he's going to just kind of plod along, try to set traps. Limit his output, his punch output is limited. So it's going to be an interesting fight, but I think Zhang is going to have an opportunity to get those shots off, and because Hrgovic is going to be right there. But if Zhang comes out slow and Hrgovic comes out fast, it could be some problems for Zhang. And the Chinese people are going to be pissed off because this Croatian, he's not coming to play around. He's not coming to lay down. Just like Zhang. Zhang's not playing around either. He's coming to win. But I am really, really excited about this fight. I've done videos on these guys, and I just think both of them have an opportunity, and they have the talent to where they could really, I think they both defeat White. I think they both defeat Chisora. I think they both defeat Andy Ruiz. I think they both defeat Luis Ortiz. I don't know about Wilder. I'm not sure about AJ. I'm not sure about Tyson Fury. But I think these two defeat all those. I think they defeat all those fighters. And you may say, well, how'd you arrive at that conclusion? It's just the pedigree, the skill set, and the size, man. These guys are huge. Huge, man. They're not going to be nobody. I just don't see any of those smaller guys. And I'm even going to include Andy Ruiz in that. I don't think Ruiz will beat these guys. Now, the Ruiz who fought Joshua in the first fight, that Ruiz, I would give him a chance to beat anybody. But this is not the same Ruiz, so it is what it is. But a good fight, I'll leave it as that. Can't wait to see this fight, man. This is going to be a must watch. This fight's not going 4 rounds. I'm telling you right now, the fight's not going 4 rounds. So excited about this fight, man. Saturday, 20 August in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Final eliminator for the IBF World Heavyweight title, man, on the Usyk Joshua 2 undercard. Amazing fight. Good job, Eddie Hearn. That being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the veterans, and as always, I'm in the breeze.